Good day. My name is Tepiso Manani, and thank you for joining me. And today, I want us to talk about something that I just thought of, and I couldn't help but to think about it, and also because there's a lot of questions that are rising in my head right now. The more I think about it, the more questions I get. Right. So like everyone is looking for, especially in relationships, right? Everyone is looking for that perfect partner. Like as a man, I'm looking, if it was possible, I would get the best woman out there in the world. If there is such a thing, the best woman in the world, um, that that is the woman that I would choose to have if it was possible. And I think every woman in the world is thinking, if they had the power of choice and opportunity to choose the best man in the world, I think they would pick the best man in the world for themselves, right? That's everyone's thinking process. So like, if you had the opportunity, you would pick the best person, the best candidate that is out there in the world, right? So I couldn't help but to think, why is the richest guy in the world not married to the most beautiful woman in the world? Why? Why is the most beautiful woman in the world not married to the richest guy in the world? Yeah, we might, add our comments and say, yeah, not everything is about money, not everything is about beauty. Really though? Yeah, you say that because it's as simple as, if everyone had all the resources and all the means, you would pick the best car in the world for yourself, right? You would pick the best car in the world for yourself. If you had all the money and all the resources, you would pick the best house in the world. If you had the money and the resources, you would pick the best outfit, the best makeup, the best whatever. If you had the means, right? So this thing of, no, it's not about the beauty, it's not about the money. It is, right? What I'm trying to say is, it is about that, in a sense that I can argue the same case with, I can say, no, it's not about the car brand, it's about the luxurious and what. No. If there was ever a thing of, there is the best car in the world and I have the means and the resources, I'm getting that. Now, someone might come and say, no, I love Ford. I love Toyota. It's reliable. No, no. If you had the means and the resources, you would get the best car in the world. I don't know what it is, but if there is such a thing, you would get that car. But just because right now you are limited, you are opting for Ford, for Toyota, for BMW. You are opting for that because it is within your reach. But then if you had all the resources and all the money, you would go for that best car in the world. So I'm asking myself now, I'm guessing for guys, by having the power of choice, is the guy with the most money and power. And I'm guessing that is the richest guy in the world. I don't know. Relatively can be related, can be assumed that you have the most power, but then it's debatable. But then, right, just like how the most beautiful woman in the world, right? If we were to judge, there is one. Trust me, there is one. This thing of, yeah, we are beautiful in our old ways. No. If there was a thing where the public can judge, we would reach a point where we all agreed on one particular person. Yeah, this is the most, obviously, not everyone would vote for that, but then based on majority of the people that voted for that particular person, we would then put them as the number one woman in the world, right? So I'm asking myself, like, you as a the most beautiful woman in the world, why aren't you with the richest guy or the most powerful guy in the world? Why? And, I could think of, maybe it's because after all, because as I'm thinking of answers and whatnot, but then I guess, living it with just a question mark, it's enough. But then why? I just can't, how, but question myself, why? 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 Because then that would decrease a lot of things. I mean, if the most beautiful woman is with the most richest or the most powerful man, then it decreases the expectations of them as individuals. Because then you, as a woman, you wouldn't say there's someone who's richer than you or who's most powerful than you. And then as a man, you wouldn't say, yeah, I can find someone better than you. Right? Unless as people, we are fickle to ourselves in a sense that we don't want to categorize people to that extent that things can be narrow and straight, that we can't say such things. Hence, we generalize things that people are beautiful in their own way, so that when the richest person in the world is with the most beautiful woman in the world, and then they start fighting, and then maybe the guy says, I can find someone better than you, and the woman says, there's no one better than me, the guy can say, no, but then they don't know you, like, or you don't know how to cook, those little things. I think that's why we don't categorize people, and we don't put them in that I don't know, I don't want to say competition, but then, if I'm making any sense, we don't categorize ourselves in that manner, that there's this, then therefore these people should these are the ones that should be in relationships. There's no how all of a sudden the most beautiful woman in the world is dating one of the average guys. Average, I mean, like a guy who's earning like 5,000 or 7,000. That's an average guy. and she's the most, obviously when you fight, you will say, I can find someone better than you, and which is unnecessary. Because you could have just went for that person, but then because of whatever, you came to this person. Now that you are fighting, you wanna make it seems like he is the problem and you are not. Because then you are the problem in the first place for picking a guy that is way below whatever. And then now you out here make it seem like he's the wrong one and you are gonna get the better one. If that was the case and you had the power of choice, why didn't you go to that person? Why? If we as people have that power of choice as we say that we do, in a sense that when we break up with our partners, we think to ourselves that we can find way better people than we come up with these things that we can find better. If that was the case, why didn't you go to better in the first place? Why?